Did they force you to get help after this happened, to talk about it?
No, I never was forced. I don't ever remember anyone offering. It might have happened. I don't know that I would have accepted it. Coming from where I was, I instantly became the caretaker of my family, and I was in the mind frame, if I'm taking care of everyone else, then no one can tell me what to do, sort of thing. I was very rebellious, very angry, and I felt the responsibility of my family to take care of them and protect them and all of that. So I don't think I would have opened up to a counselor, so to speak, because I didn't think anyone can understand what the heck I had been through. And I didn't even want to try and talk to anyone about it. It was too, it was just too personal. It was too hard. You know, it was too painful to try and make someone understand the trauma that you'd just been through.
I don't think anybody can understand it now. I mean, I think that's just maybe losing anyone. It's such a unique personal experience, but to have it played out in such a public way. Let's get back a little bit. So you moved up to Ruby Ridge when you were how old?
I was 7.
7, okay. Were those good times?
They were. They were. They're some of my happiest memories. I got my first horse when I was 7 or 8. It was tons of fun. You know, my brother and my sister and I like to call it Little House on the Mountain. You know, it was a blast. It was a blast.
But hard. I mean, that's a hard life to live.
It was, and I think most of the stress fell on my parents. You know, I was there to help as they needed help, and, you know, do my chores and help take care of the kids and stuff. And it was hard, but I never really looked at it as being hard because it was all I knew.
Yeah. Probably if you had to go do it now, it would be hard. I mean, you're used to the modern conveniences, and but if you didn't, I mean, if you grew up that way, were you ever afraid? I mean, I know that there was talk of the end times and those types of things. Were you scared living up there, and were you worried that somebody is going to come up here looking for us?
I wasn't until at the point where my dad got arrested, and then from that point on, the months following, then yeah, I was afraid.
How do you deal with that fear when you're that age? Could you talk to your parents about it? Did you all? I mean, was there like, okay, here's the plan if something happens? How do you deal with that?
We just kind of. We were a very close family, and so we relied on each other every day just for basic survival, let alone, you know, anything emotional. And I just had a sense of, as long as we're all together, everything's going to be okay. You know, at being a teenager, I was thinking about other things. You know, I was thinking about growing up and, you know, finding a boyfriend or getting married or, you know, those kind of things. And so I tried not to focus on the fearful part of what was going on, and I didn't have a full understanding of it. You know, as a child, I don't think I could have. We had no idea the scope that it would end up being, for sure.
At what point did you find out how long they had been watching you guys? I mean, it was like over a year, right? Like 18 months or something.
I believe it was 18 months. I don't remember when I found that out.
That's amazing to me that it was just for that long. I mean, the time and the energy that went into that.
Yeah.
What were the roles as far as your family went? I mean, you said you were kind of the caretaker for your younger siblings, but how did everybody fit in, and what were kind of the tasks that were laid out for you guys?
Well, I took on a lot of things just because I enjoyed doing them, and I know it helped out my parents, and I wanted to please them and help them because I respected them and loved them dearly. And I liked doing the baking. You know, I did laundry and gardening, and my brother would work on the wood and sort of outdoor chores and water and things like that. And my little sister Rachel, she absolutely loved it when my littlest sister Elishaba came along. So she was very involved with my mom in helping make baby clothes and bibs and excited about babysitting. And I kind of was more like, I'll cook the family dinner and you can take care of the baby sort of thing, because I helped take care of Sam and Rachel from the time they were little, and I'd babysat a lot, and I thought, well, you know, I'd rather do the cooking and the laundry than the baby thing.
That's way easier.
Yeah.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
When you look, when you were there, were you always, you know, were you yearning to get out? Were you like, I want to go to school with other kids my age? Did you want to do those things? Were you thinking about life beyond that mountain? Because I don't think your parents were really thinking that you guys would leave there.
You know, I did think about life beyond, and I don't think that, gosh, at 16, you don't know what you want. You know what I mean? I wanted to please my parents. I did want a boyfriend and, the things that most teenage girls want, but I don't know. My childhood was just so different from anything. It's hard to describe, to compare it to anything, but I did. I thought about having a family and getting a job and those kind of things. And I did. I believed that was going to come about.
The day that the marshals came up, was that did it start like any other day?
It did.
You guys had no idea that something was, because when you look at all that they were planning, and you guys were just, living your lives. And yeah. What do you remember about that morning? Probably everything at this point, but.
Well, I remember, it's really funny because I don't remember what I did the day before or the night before, or that's kind of gone. I remember just getting up and it was a normal morning and we did our normal chores, and then, the dogs barking is what set everything in motion, so.
And you had no idea what was, that your whole world, like you said, you don't remember what happened the night before, and it's kind of like that, none of that mattered after that because everything changed that day.
Yeah, and it really does. It matters more to me now because I wish I had a lot more of those memories. But yeah, the dogs started barking, and my dad and Kevin and Sam, they decided to follow the dog and said, we think the dog's onto a large animal, we're going to go check it out. Had they known what was waiting for them, they would have never done that. You
didn't think, okay, and they didn't think the dogs are barking, the feds are here to get us. It was not that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, there was no way to know that was what was coming. What happened next? I don't want to pry because I know it has to be extremely difficult, but when they came back up the mountain and you knew your brother was gone, do you remember that moment?
I do. And it's been 20 years, but it still feels like yesterday. It's very hard.